Welcome everybody to our fast track office hours for lab. We are live. It looks like the mic is on. We are good after our tech challenges last week. I think we are good. YouTube is cooperating nicely. Guys, let me know that you're here. Go ahead and put your first name, where you're watching from. We've got a fun class today. I'm going to be talking and sharing a few things about what's working right now in my business. We also have several questions that were posted in our community that I'm going to be tackling as well. And we should have a fun time. So welcome everybody. We're going to get right into it. So first of all, it might seem unusual that we're already having our office hours for June. If you've been around lab, then you know typically first week of the month is the class. Last week of the month is office hours. And the reason why it's different is we have our live event coming up very, very soon. So I'm going to be on vacation a few days next week with my side of the family. Then we're going to have the live event. And then right after the live event, we have a little vacation planned with charity side of the family. And so that's why we're doing office hours already. So yeah, glad that you guys are here. If you missed it, because I know we had some tech challenges, I wanted to, let me see if we can share the screen here. Here is, let me just adjust that a little bit there. Here is, what you're looking at here is the members area for Fast Track Lab. Now, if you go over to classes, click on classes, and then you scroll down a little bit and go to the vault, this is where you're going to find the most recent classes. Just want to make sure. I know we've got a lot of new members. We always highlight the month's class right here. So if you missed it, or because of the tech challenges you weren't able to watch it, we've edited it out a little bit. We've got it all good to go. I do see here right now that we have not yet added the documents. So let me see if I can find the vision sheet. Actually, I think I call it, I'll take care of this later. I'll find it. So if you're watching right now and you're like, Jonathan, but where's the sheet for me to fill this stuff in? We'll get it put right here today. So if you're watching the replay, it'll be added in here very, very soon. Okay, so that's how you find our classes. That's the best place to go. Plus, don't forget, you can always click up here at the top. So let me go back. You know, and let's say I want to know about SEO. Type it in and boom, you know, you're going to get, here's a class on how to do an SEO audit of your WordPress blog. Here's how to increase, you know, SEO traffic to your old content, right? So you can type in any of the keywords in here. If I type in Facebook, I can see, here's one on building your list using a Facebook group. 3 Facebook ad strategies for beginners, Facebook Live, growing your list using Facebook ads, getting over 2,000 views using Facebook Live. So there you go, guys. Don't forget about that handy search bar at the top. You might forget about that. Also, this place is great to ask questions. We'll be addressing some of your questions today. And this should be fun. All right, so let me see if the iPad is cooperating. Let's give it a second, see if it loads here. And let me just adjust this a little bit here. All right, let me make this a little smaller so we have plenty of room to write. All right, guys, so one of the things we do is we do our monthly tips. And if you've not been a part of our office hours before, we always call it popcorn style learning because you're going to learn a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And one of the benefits of watching these, whether you're watching the replay or you're here live, is to learn, like, Jonathan, what are you doing right now? Like, what's working right now? What are you really excited about? And so sometimes it's just a simple little extension that saves me time. Other times it's a strategy I stumbled upon that I want to share with you. So let's jump into this, and then we're going to answer your questions today. By the way, if you come with a question, go ahead and ask your question. Just put the letter Q if you're here live with me, and I'm going to answer your question. If you've already posted a question hoping I'm going to cover it, no worries. You don't need to repost it. I'm going to be diving into all the questions that are in the members area shortly. All right, so let's talk about this tool, insight, product, or strategy. And let me pick the white color here so you can see this. All right, the tool I want to talk about is a simple tool called Copy Clip. Now, truthfully, I don't know if this is an extension. I did not look. I got it from the Mac App Store, so I don't know if this is Mac only. I would think it's not. So you might want to check in a Chrome extension to see if you can get the same thing. But let me just show you what I'm talking about. In fact, let me say this first. Have you ever been working on your computer and you copy something, paste it, and then you go copy something else, then you paste that, and then for some reason you want to copy and paste something the time before, but now it seems gone? And you're like, I got to go find that thing again. I don't know if you've had that problem. I have it all the time. And I found something that's like been a game changer for me. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is a little clip. It's at the very, very top of the bar here. So I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I think it's like right up here. It's a little paper clip. If I click on that paper clip, I know it's really small, but these are like the last 8 or 10 things that I've copied. So now I'm able to go, oh yeah, I wanted that link, or wait a minute, there was a link earlier I wanted. Oh, here it is right here. And I could find that link, and once I click on it, now it's copied. I can come over here, paste it, and boom, takes me to what I was hoping to have. Like this was a link that I sent out today via email about a short little class that I am doing. So that's an example of how to use that. So here's what it looks like. This is in the Mac store. It probably is in, if I were to go to the Chrome store, I have no idea if it's like also a Chrome extension. But there may be a different version of it, but mine is called Copy Clip. Clip Copy, it's your Android. So you guys might have to, if you're not a Mac user, you may have to look around for the same kind of a deal, same kind of a thing. It's actually free. And I can't tell you how many times I've used this. I click on it and be like, oh yeah, I remember copying that. Boom, there we go. So there's my first little tip is Copy Clip. That's what I love. All right, the next two, they somewhat go together and they somewhat don't. So let's still talk about it separately. So the next one is an insight. Here's an insight that it's not a new insight for me, but it is something maybe I don't talk about enough. One of the things that you should be doing as you are building or growing your business is emailing your list. But a lot of times you lack inspiration, or you just don't have an idea for an email to write. One of the things that I got serious about probably about 8 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago now, but probably about 8 years ago, was collecting email templates. You can call them email swipes, or if you buy a product or a course, maybe you've purchased a product or course. Even in my own courses and products, I've given email templates out. Anytime you have those, be sure that you have a way to organize those. So I want to talk about email templates and how they can save you time and inspiration. So one of the first things I would recommend you do is, in fact, I might be able to show you like even the very, 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 very first thing I started doing. So you're probably signed up to lots of lists, And one of the things that you can do, and I'm going to share my screen just a second here. All right. So let me share my screen. So I'm in Gmail. Now, Gmail, as you know, even when you archive emails, they're still there. Like, unless you permanently delete them, they're not there. So what I did, and I know it's kind of small, but I created a tag that just called email copy I like. And you're probably subscribed to a lot of different people, maybe in your niche, maybe in your training, your self-development. Anytime you come across an email that you like, then you should think about, storing that email for later inspiration. So here's an example. This one right here is called Want Me to Write Your Book? Now, we're currently not offering that kind of service, but I'm thinking about one day. I've got at least one of my coaches who is a ghostwriter. And so it may be a service we offer in the future where you can pay us to write your compact book. And so I saved this email because I liked it. Hey, with this service, you're going to get this and this and this. If you want to come become my next ghostwriting client, book a call here, right? Now, I'm going to change the format of this email. I'm not going to send it verbatim, but because I want to change it to my own voice, I'm going to change it to my own offer. But I've got a template here for something like that. I could look down here. Here's one on final notice, right? Final notice, sessions are about to begin. So this one might be good for inspiration for an email to get someone to buy a ticket to Your Message Matters Live, right? Obviously, this event has Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I do not have him coming to Your Message Matters Live. So I would have to make this my own. But this gives me an idea, right? I've got a headline that maybe I could use. I've got some of this. So one of the first steps to this is having it in your email and just starting to tag it, right? So you can create a little tag. And, if I were to go into my inbox right now and Charity's looking through these emails, we get a lot of emails. Let's say this one right here, optimize your Facebook advertising strategy. Obviously, this one is Facebook wants me to get on the phone to chat with them about Facebook ads because they know I'm a user of Facebook ads. But let's say I like this one. All right. So what you could do is up here under tag, which is actually labels, I just find that label, which is email copy I like. I check this, and then it's going to add it to my tag over here. Even if I archive it out of my inbox, it will still be here for inspiration. Okay. I believe you could even come in here, and if you leave this label right here and you were to type in like last chance, sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't. One of the things you can do, I think, hopefully I won't break the system here, but if you're looking for like a subject line, I think you can do subject : last chance, and now see how it's showing it in the these are all the ones, well, some of them don't have both words, so you might even have to, I know I'm getting real technical here, you might even have to put quotes around it. I'm just showing this to be like, when you're saving these emails, you can search for them for ideas by doing subject and finding the subject line if you have a word or a phrase. If I search that, there you go. So like, here's an idea. Last chance, got your discount ticket? Ending today, your last chance. Last chance, ending tonight. So if I need a last chance email, you can see just by collecting these for, you see it goes back to 2017, I can find an idea. So that's one thing you can do. But let's take this one right here and let's say, I want to save this one. Then what I would do is I would copy this whole thing. It's not going to look pretty, but I would create a folder called email templates, which I have. And you can either create a folder to put last chance emails in. So if I said new folder last chance emails, create that folder. Now it's under my email templates. And then I just create a Google Doc. And it's gonna look a little ugly. When you just copy and paste it in here, you have to clean it up a little bit. Yeah, so I mean, if it looks like really, really bad, like this right here, looks like it did all of that. Okay, so we don't want to do that. We're gonna undo, and we're gonna come back to this email. It looks like it highlighted like everything. We're just gonna get this stuff right here. Copy. Let's go back here. Should be better. If it doesn't, I'm going to give you one more. It's thinking about it. Here's one little other tip I do. I use like a plain text editor. And when you copy it in, it gets rid of all the formatting and weird stuff. And then coming over here, and this should work. Unless I just completely have confused this document. Let's start with a fresh document. What do you say? Let's just go new. Now let's paste it. Boom. So you can see here, I've got that. Now if I want to keep the subject line, because the subject line's not here, I can say subject. Go back to that email, and it was last chance with a little smiley face. Come back here, put it in there, and boom, there I go. And I've got something to work from, right? So that's like step 2. Now step 3, what I actually do, I thought it might be helpful to show you what I actually do. I use a software called Closers Copy, and full transparency, I paid like a lifetime deal for this a couple years ago. Now it's a monthly fee, and it's got more stuff to it than actually just saving templates. Before it was just like a place where you could have like save your own templates and get to your copy. But I thought I'd just show this real quick as the product that I use, which is the next one on the list here. So let's actually go into a document here. So let me go to dashboard. So I'm just going to go into one of these. So you can create folders. And you're like, Jonathan, why do you have this when you've got it all in Google Drive? Hopefully this will make sense. Because you can save as templates. So let me actually save this email I just did. Let's say I want to save this as a template in, sorry, I got so many tabs open in here. Because maybe I don't want to use this now, but I want to save this as a template where I can reword it to my own stuff later. And maybe I call this a last chance email. This was from Digital Marketer, so I like to put like, just so I remember where it came from. Now what you could do with Closers Copy is I can highlight this, right click, I can hit save, and I could save this as a template. So I'm going to save this as an email, and you could create all of these. So I just have email subject line, social media post, and email swipe templates. Probably should do an entire class on this, guys, because I'm giving you probably more than you want to know. But I just wanted to show you what I do. And then I have these different categories here. So this one is actually just a single broadcast email. And then I'm just going to call this last chance email. And then I got it from Digital Marketer so I can remember, and then hit save. Okay, so it's saved in my templates. Now what does that mean? Okay, this is what it means. when it's time for me to go write an email and I'm looking for inspiration, yes, you can just use Gmail like I showed you. You can use Google Drive where you've saved templates. But since I'm like, this is the place where I'm doing the work, if I come over to the libraries and templates, they have some built-in emails and templates, but you can create your own. So I have one here. It's just called Jonathan's Templates. And if I go to email swipe templates, then these are my categories. So let's say, okay, I want to do a broadcast email. These are the different templates, and I know my video's in the way here. These are the different templates I've saved. So I could look down through here and say, what am I looking for? Oh, wait a minute, here's this last chance email down here. I can preview it. Be like, okay, blah, 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 last chance. Okay, maybe I want to use this one. So I can click on add to document and boom. Now I can just edit it and I still have the original template right there. Isn't that cool? The other thing I use this for is for subject lines. So if I'm looking for a good email subject line, I've just saved a bunch of them in here. So let's say, okay, urgency, deadline, and I can click add to document and boom. These are all kinds of subject lines and it helps me just find one like this oops last chance. So say, I like that one. So I'm going to do oops last chance, get rid of all these. And I could either write my email or I can go back to my templates and see if I can find one that is a deadline. So flash sale, going, gone, deadline emails, add to here. Here's an email. So these have a bunch of different, I'm just gonna get rid of those and show you. All right, so here is the email. It's a really short email. And so I've got my subject line, put in my product name, right? Fast Track Lab is closing down, but you still have time. Click here, last chance to get it. I could put in my link there. This is your last chance to finally get the focus training, blah, blah, blah. You guys get the point. And I know it's really kind of small on your side. But that's how I'm able to write. I still do a lot of my own emails, even though my team does some of it. But this is my process. So let me know what you guys think. If you want me to do more in-depth training on this, I probably spent way more time than I should have. But whether you want to start off simple by just saying, you know what, I'm just going to start labeling. If you use Gmail, I'm going to start labeling emails I like, emails I actually caught my attention and I opened. Just save them. That's kind of beginner stage. Step 2 is actually copying and pasting some of those into Google Drive and organizing them a little bit better so you can get to them a little easier. And then it's kind of stage 3 or more advanced is setting up a system like Closer's Copy. Now, here's the cool thing. I have not done this yet, but Closer's Copy allows me to share my templates that I've put together. So hours and hours and hours of work of putting it all into Closer's Copy. With a touch of a button, you can have access to all my email subject lines, all of my email templates that I've collected over the years. You think that'd be pretty cool? Let me know what you think about that. I might do that at some point, and it might make it worth it for you to join Closer's Copy because you get access to my whole library of templates. All right, so that was Closer's Copy. Last thing, then we'll get to your questions, is strategy. Now, the strategy that I want to talk about today is something I did recently, and I'm going to be teaching it more in depth for Your Message Matters Live. So for you, who's coming to Your Message Matters Live? Put it in the chat if you're here live, or if you're watching the replay, you're probably watching it in the members area. So, but I'm going to be teaching more in depth. I'm going to give you just a little preview here. And the strategy is called offer stacking. And here's the concept around this idea of offer stacking. At the live event, we're going to be talking about a bunch of different offers. We're going to be talking, I think, we're going to be covering somewhere between 15 and 16 different ways to earn money. But we don't want you doing 15 or 16. We want you to narrow it down to less than 4 and then down to just 1 that you are going to focus on first. However, one of the things that I did recently is I did offer stacking. So let me actually show this to you. I'm going to show you via the workbook. So the workbook for the live event is out to print, and it's being printed as we speak, but I can pull up a digital copy and just show you what I'm talking about here. So give me 1 second here. I got to find the correct page that I want to show you. All right. And hey, those of you coming to live, look how much fun we're going to have. All kinds of learning. The one I want to show you is this one right here. Now, I'm going to be teaching the lazy launch method. So if we're looking for low-tech, simple way to drive traffic, then I think this will be a lot of fun. But I just want to talk about this part right here. So this is what I mean by offer stacking. And I'll give you a specific example of what I just did. So the main offer, you got to decide what that main offer is. In this case, my main offer was a 1-day workshop. Some of you may have been a part of my Medium workshop. I don't know if you saw that, but I charged $45 for a 2-hour training that I did with lots of templates and high value for 45 bucks. Then I also, and this is how I stacked it, I gave a bonus offer for everybody who joined the workshop. They also got 30-day free trial of Fast Track Lab. In fact, this is why some of you right now might be in lab, because it was a bonus to like jump in and see what lab's all about. And you're hanging out with us, which is really cool. Welcome to the family. This is what we do. We do a class and we do this kind of fun office hours call. So that allowed me to also create an opportunity to get subscribers, monthly subscribers, right? And what we found over the course of the last 18 months is we get somewhere between 60 and 70% of free trials to continue on, which is really, really high if you think about it. And so we love that. Can we do a better job? Probably. But I know out of every 10 people who do a free trial, 6 or 7 of them are going to stay. And that's awesome for us, because what does that do as the business? It creates a monthly recurring subscription to help us in the business. So that's where I added in a free trial to a subscription. Then the back end offer. And some of you are a part of this as well. At the end of the 1-day workshop, for the people, and this was only for the people who actually attended the 1-day workshop, I said, how would you like to do a 4-week implementation boot camp with me, where we're going to roll up our sleeves and actually get work done together? And it's going to be on Zoom. We can talk. You can have your cameras on. You can ask me anything. I'll help you get started, get accepted into the Medium program. And I charged $250. Truthfully, I was thinking of charging $1,000, but I decided to keep it low. I wanted to experiment with the offer, so $250. Now, I'm going to go back and dig up all the numbers for the live event so you can see this, but $45, I think we had around, off the top of my head, 80 some people. So let's just, again, this is totally off the top of my head. 45 times 80 was about $3,600 that I earned to do the 2-day workshop, right? Not bad for 2 hours of my time. Subscribe offer, I don't know yet because there's a lot of people still in the free trial, but almost everybody who jumped in to the the one-day workshop also got a free trial. If even 60 or 70% of those stick around, it's probably going to be a couple $1,000s more a month in revenue. All right. And then the back end offer is something I don't do a lot of, quite frankly. I don't do a lot of, mastermind for a week, but 250, I think we limited it to 20 people. Seems like we had about 15 people join us. I think that's another $3,700. So all in all, probably from this one idea of a medium workshop, of a $45 workshop, if I had to calculate in my head, we probably earned $5,000, $5,000 to $6,000 on the front end. And then the recurring is probably going to be a couple $1,000s a month. That is the power when you begin, getting this system in place. You can combine your different offers to really supercharge the process, right? So here's the big lesson in this. And you might even want to write this down. I've said it time and time again, but it might be your first time hearing this. A percentage of people will buy more from you if you make it available to them. A percentage of people, or a percentage of buyers, will buy more from you if you make it available to them. So, not that you have to do this all the time, but you could think about, well, if I'm doing a one-day workshop, maybe I could sell a 4-week boot camp on the back end. Now, not everybody from the one-day workshop is going to upgrade, right? Think about me. I had probably 80 people buy the workshop. About 15 to 20 of them actually purchased the boot camp. But it made the business, not just me, because we're a whole business now with teams and salaries and all that, made the business $3,700 more for me to do the 4-week boot camp. So there you go. That's how you do offer stacking. We're going to be teaching this more in depth at the Your Message Matters live event coming up in just a couple weeks. All right. Phil says, I was already in Fast Track Lab, but you sure got me with your main offer and your back end offer and loving it. Awesome. Now we're going to get to some of your guys' questions. This is from Terry, I believe. Was the 4-week follow-up workshop focused on Medium as well, or was it another aspect of your training? No, it was the same. So what I like, a one-day workshop and a 4-week boot camp go together, right? So one-day workshop is lower dollar, it's lower commitment, but then at the end of the workshop, if people are really, really enjoying it and you say, hey, if you really want to implement this, here's what I'm going to do. For a small percentage of you, I'm going to do a 4-week boot camp on this same topic, and we're actually going to roll up our sleeves together, get a little bit of accountability, ask your questions, and work together on this. So if you really want to implement this, I called it the Medium Implementation Boot Camp. And we're about 2 weeks in, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a lot of fun. So there you go. All right, guys, go ahead and ask your questions. I'm going to pull up questions that were asked in the group, and we're going to stick around and answer as many questions as we can. Once I feel like we got the questions done, we will wrap up today. So let's jump over to the screen. First question comes from Virgie. She says, getting traffic to my personal finance info product will largely depend on Google searches and ads, etc. In other words, like SEO. Do you have any recommendations for an SEO firm or freelancer with great, okay, just decent customer service? I've been disappointed with part-time SEO freelancers, regular and or multiple excuses for ghosting, and I'm concerned a well-known name or firm would be unaffordable, but I'm open to suggestions. Your thoughts? Thanks. Truthfully, I have not outsourced SEO because that's kind of where I got my start. So I started by learning SEO myself way back in 2009 when I started blogging, and just picked it up over the years. And so I've always just done it myself. One thing that you might want to do is, let me go back over here. If you're looking for SEO, what I would do is I would search SEO at the top. And if you're looking for SEO for content, I highly recommend this class right here, the Content Relaunch, Increase SEO Traffic with Old Blog Post. It will kind of walk you through some of what I think are the best practices. So what I would do in your case is, as you reach out to SEO people, is give them what you want them to do. Instead of just trusting that they know what they're doing, say, here is this checklist, and you can get it off of this training. Are you able to do this thing for me? Like, get more specific as to what you want instead of just saying, oh, I know SEO, I could do SEO for you. No, this is what I want you to do. That's what I would do. The other thing you can do is an SEO audit of your entire website. So you can improve your whole website, not just the actual on page for a blog post, improve it. But there are some things, this is kind of like a checklist. There's 9 points that go through this training on how to clean up old pages. If you got pages on your site that don't have very many words on it, you might need to delete those. And it's primarily showing you how to do that on a WordPress blog. So there is that. Hope that helps. All right. Bev, you got some questions here that you asked. So let's look at these questions. I noticed that your Medium account name is the same as your business. Is that what you recommend for us to do? So let me see. I think all I did was, I'm trying to get to one of my, I've just got my name, so I'm not sure what you might be referring to, Bev, on that one. If you can clarify, I mean, obviously I've got the little bio here, but if you're talking about, you know, this is my bio page, unless you mean on my about page, well, it's still the same. So not sure exactly what you might be referring to that one. So let's move to the next one. Do you have some system for capturing ideas for writing and for courses? I have read about John Maxwell's analog way. Sometimes ideas flood my head, then I write a snippet, and I end up with little bits of paper, note cards, organized. Any suggestions or models for us to follow, be more productive instead of scattered? Couple of things that I do. One of the things that I do is I use, let's see here, trying to find this so I can pull it into view for you guys. So I use something, I think this is only again on Mac, so it's a Mac only day, but this is called Bear app. In the Bear app, I journal every day, and then I can search for stuff. So I can go up here to search notes, and I could type in Fast Track Lab. And ooh, this is when I was journaling about Fast Track Lab. So this is me looking at, you know, if I wanted to find, so like this is how I can search for stuff. So it's one way that I use it. When it comes to book reading, right? So like you were referencing John Maxwell and how he's collecting thoughts and ideas and research. One of the main things I do is I use readwise.io. And what Readwise does, let me just sign in here. Come on. Why don't you have the password? Fill it in. Unless I signed in. Maybe I signed in with Amazon. Maybe that's why it's acting that way. Let's go here. Gee, Manish. And yeah. So this is something that I do for my books. So this is really, really cool. I could probably do an entire class on this, so I don't want to go too far into this. But basically what this does is it has a lot of different, let's see here, if I can show this somewhere. Where are the import? So it will sync up. So for example, if you read on the Kindle, if you want to hook up Medium, when you highlight articles, it would get pulled in. It's pulling in highlights from your Kindle books, from Medium, short form summaries that I use, and the iPhone app. You can take a picture. So like, let's use my book right here. After I get done reading a physical book, I can stop on a page of where I've highlighted, and I could snap a picture, and it will put the text into Readwise. So the reason why I love this, first of all, I do this daily review. So in the morning, I'll hit this daily review, and it will be highlights of books I've read. So I say, awesome, next one. This is from a highlight that I put in the book Traction. Next one. This is highlight from the book Ask. And I'm rehearsing stuff that I've learned, quotes, stories, things I've highlighted in here, right? And so that's fun. I love doing this daily review. It allows me to remember the stuff I've learned. But more than just that, you can come over here to books, for example. And all of my books are in here. I can search books. So let's say I'm looking for something, a story or something on hope. Actually, that's searching for book title. See if I go to everything. Maybe I could go up here. If I go something like hope, it's going to search the database of my highlights, and it's going to find quotes. So there's obviously a bunch in this book, Daring to Hope. There's one here in Man's Search for Meaning. So I can look for stuff and find stuff instead of the analog way. John Maxwell's way is, it works for him, but he, over the years, he write it out on a note card, file it away under Hope. And then when he goes to Hope, he's got a bunch of note cards. This is just more of a digital way that I like to do it. So as I'm reading books, they all go into Readwise, and I'm able to find stuff later. Hope that helps. All right. One more from Bev here. I'm going to answer some questions that you guys might have here. So she said, how do you deal with the feeling of unfinished business when what you plan to do or write or create is delayed? Does Asana help? Or do you have a pen or paper way to keep yourself accountable to finish? I do like the 90-day goal template that you have created. So this is a common thing. And there's probably a lot that I could say to this, Bev. But what helps me is Michael Hyatt teaches a 3x3x3 strategy. And this helps me more than anything. Okay, so what's the 3x3x3 strategy? The first 3 is, what are your 3 quarterly goals? So we're in the middle of a quarter right now, going up to July 1st. So what are your 3 quarterly goals? I'm reviewing those at least weekly. Okay? And it helps me to come back to, I can get lost in a lot of things, but what 3 things am I committed to finishing this quarter? Okay. The next 3 is your weekly 3. So the weekly big 3 is something, Charity, as you guys know, is my awesome executive assistant. And every Friday we have breakfast together. We review the week. And then she tells me, okay, Jonathan, what are your 3 weekly big 3 for this next week? Let's look over, in light of your quarterly goals, in light of what's on your plate, in light of what's coming up this next week, what are 3 things that you want to get done, almost like projects? So they're goals, then 3 projects for the week that you want to get done by the time we meet again next Friday. So then as I'm working through my day, one of the things I do, and I did it this morning, sometimes I use a Moleskine notebook. Sometimes I'm using Hyatt's planner, but you can see this is today. I've got my 3 things here. What are my big 3 for the day? And that's in light of my big 3 for the week, right? This helps me to constantly go back to focus and back to priority. And if you just practice that 3 by 3 by 3 strategy, it'll really help you. So think about what are the 3 big goals you want to get done. And then every week, what are the 3 big projects? They're not the same as the goals. We have to break them down, right? That's so important. You break them down to something smaller. So if it's like my 90-day goal is to write the draft of my book, a weekly goal would be to write the chapter 2, whatever that is. I'm going to write that this week. Then a daily goal, or a daily big 3, one of them might be spend an hour writing today. Spend an hour writing today on chapter 2. And that helps me to get back to focus, because what happens, Bev, and this is true for all of us, there's so much to do. And what happens is you got this going 10%, and now I got this going 10%, I got this going at 10%, and nothing ever makes it to 100%. And we want to keep you from that. Okay? Hope that helps. All right. That might be, oh yeah, we got Tom. So Tom did his work on his 1-page vision sheet that he posted in here. So I want to look it through this. So here's your first draft. Okay, and this looks like this is like the story section of it. So at restoringleader.org, obviously I know it's restoringleaders.org. We know most leaders are overwhelmed and feel helpless, burned out with the task, programs, and expectations placed on them. I really like that, especially expectations, because that's big, right? We know that most leaders are overwhelmed and feel helpless with the ongoing tasks, programs, and expectations placed on them. They doubt their ability and skill set to change anything or have lasting impact, and they struggle with how or why they stay in ministry altogether. Now, I love what you have here, Tom. I'd probably wordsmith this a bit so that it rolls easier off the tongue, because it felt a little choppy, right? And that's okay. This is the first draft, but you might try to rewrite this 2 or 3 times to where it just kind of flows a little bit better. We've created a proven 4-step roadmap to help them refocus their minds, renew their heart's calling, and restore their mission so they can make a greater kingdom impact and not give up. Yeah, so see how this flowed, especially this part right here, flowed really well. So we want to help them refocus their minds, renew their heart's calling, and restore their mission. That flows really well, so I like that. And of course, I know you got some other feedback here. So Tom, I love it. I think this is great. The only thing I would say is maybe this part right here is work on wordsmithing that out just a little bit. All right, make sure I didn't skip any other questions here. think I hit most of them. Awesome. And come back to you guys, see if we have anything else in here. I put in a question. Could you let me know, like, did you put the question here or was it over in lab? If it was in lab, let me refresh and just take a quick peek. Maybe it got buried. Da, da, da. Oh, I found a few more. Well, this was from 2 weeks ago. Shelly. I think I answered that one on the last call. So, oh, you put it from the email. All right, let me just see. Maybe you replied to the email. Let's see here. If you remember what it is, Shelly, can you just put it in here? Because no telling where it might have ended up on my end. All right. I am not seeing it unless it ended up in spam. So if you could just put the question in here, that would be great, because I do not see it. So as we're waiting for Shelly to put her question in, I want to know your takeaways. What are your takeaways as we wrap this up? Post your takeaway. What's your number one takeaway from today? Was it related to that copy clip? Like, okay, that's a no-brainer. Was it related to email templates or the closers copy software? Was it related to the idea of offer stacking? So now you're thinking about, wow, like after I do a one-day workshop, I could do a 4-week boot camp on the back end of the same thing. Let me know what your takeaway is. Post your takeaway in there. I'm sure we had some other takeaways that could have happened in there as well. So let's see here. All right, takeaways, and again, let's see here. Shelly, if you've got your question, please do post that. So let me read some takeaways while I wait for Shelly's question. Always so helpful to be reminded on the 3x3x3. Yes, that gets you back to priorities, right? Oh yeah, we talked about Readwise too. Forgot about that. Readwise and email templates. Awesome. Takeaway, encouragement for you, Jonathan. Good job. Excellent info today. I appreciate that. Also tagging email examples versus screen capture. Yeah, I used to do the screen capture thing. You can. The downside to just doing screen captures of emails is you can't get the text, right? I want to be able to copy the text, even though I'm not going to use it verbatim. I can still use the format. I can reword it, but I can't do that from an image, right? So I definitely am a fan of just having the text. All right. That is all that I see. Thank you guys for being here today. And we, of course, got some exciting things happening. Let me tell you about our class coming up. It's going to be in July because we've got the live event coming up. So July, my very own systems person, Roxanne Oates. She has been working with me 5 or 6 years now. She handles all of the systems, and you recently did a deep dive with insiders on how to organize your business, your online business, in systems, like creating SOPs is what we call them, or standard operating procedures, or checklist workflows. How do you create systems in your business so that you're not overwhelmed? And this is one of the first things you have to do before you ever start outsourcing. So I've invited Roxanne to teach all of you in July the upcoming Fast Track class on how to start creating systems in your business. It's the first step before you really begin outsourcing, and I think it's going to be awesome. So hopefully you're excited about that. And yeah, we've got more in store as well. The month after that, I'm going to be talking about high ticket programs, how to put together a high ticket program. And then the month after that, which would actually be September, I'm going to do a class on low ticket. So yes, we're going to be showing you the differences and what a high ticket can do in your business and what a low ticket offer can do in your business. So a lot of fun stuff happening in the days ahead in Fast Track Lab. We're here to support you all along the way, and really, really appreciate you guys being here. Let's see. Oh, got the question. Could you please talk through the big picture for me, how each of these is used in a practical way each day? Does that make sense? Yes. So, oh, I see. You actually have a few others here. It won't let me enter text. Boom. I'm working my way through the book and have my acronym, my manifesto put on the wall. Now I'm working on my message framework, purpose, passion, and people. Yeah. So you're doing awesome. So here's what I would say. If you haven't used the roadmap, make sure you're summarizing everything here, because this is a one-page overview that helps you understand it. So the acronym is just a reminder of you building the business that you want. This right here is your message defined. So when you go through chapters 7, 8, and 9, we can summarize that in one sentence, right? So for me, I help messengers to, what is the problem I'm helping them solve, to rise above the noise and get paid for what they know by being a practical teacher. So this is just for me, right? This is just for me to help me understand my message, how I can best show up for people, the problem I'm trying to solve, and the people I'm trying to help. Your messenger manifesto can go right here, or you can just use mine. So this top part that we're looking at here, those are just for motivation, clarity, big picture. Now, when you get down to the rest of the book, which you're going to come up to, it gets more into the practical how-to. These are the 4 habits listed here. And I'm going to introduce different traffic methods, different content you can create, different ways to build your list, and different products you can create. But you need to narrow it down to like 4 things on here. All right? So when you're done, you've got, clarity and inspiration up here. And then this becomes your daily, weekly focus, right? Your projects, your goals and projects should come from here. And then this is your motivation, inspiration up there. There you go. Guess that's the best way to explain that. Hopefully that gave you some ideas. All right. So that's the big picture, and that's how to use them practically. So the top ones are the big picture. My acronym, this is what's important to me. This is my my vision, or I would say my message defined in one sentence. And then the motivation each day is to read my manifesto. All that's motivation. And then the bottom half, that's where your projects and tasks come from, right? So do you want to do a blog or a podcast or a YouTube channel? That's the create section. When it comes to compiling products, what do you want to do? Do you want to write a book? Do you want a membership site? Do you want to do a course? Those it's designed to help you to narrow it down, and hope that makes sense. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here again. Have an awesome day. We'll talk to you real soon. And don't forget, our community is always available. So if you got questions that weren't answered today, go ask it in the community. Either I or someone else in lab will answer your questions. All right? Talk to you guys real soon. Bye-bye.